Hello viewers, Experience Speaks. On social media, on various groups, I find prospective car buyers posting messages that they have rejected a particular car after a test drive. Just out of curiosity, I've been asking them as to what are the parameters which led you to this decision of rejecting a particular vehicle. The answer is silence. This is not with one prospective buyer, it has been with many prospective buyers. This question remained unanswered. From my 40 years of experience in owning and driving cars of various makes and models, I have prepared a list of 10 tests which can logically conclude and help you decide whether the test drive was successful or unsuccessful. There are 3 conditions before you start the tests of a test drive. The 3 conditions are: the first condition, whenever you are going for a test drive, take your entire family along with you. If you are going for a vehicle with 5 passengers, take at least 4 adults with you. That is the first parameter. The second parameter is you should be carrying a bottle of water along with a tumbler. The third parameter is once you reach the dealership, ask your sales advisor whether the test drive vehicle has recommended tire pressure or not. It is my observation that these test drive vehicles are always overinflated for 2 reasons. The first reason is fuel efficiency, and the second reason is that when you overinflate a tire, it reduces the drag, the overall drag of the vehicle. Next is, once you start your test drive, please remember these 10 tests which will help you decide whether the test drive was successful or unsuccessful. The first test is the test of ease of getting in the car or getting out of the car. The test is if you are stooping down to enter the car or lowering your body to enter the car, that needs to be noted. While getting out, if you are climbing up to get out, that's another point, a negative point. Or there are certain cars where you have to climb up to enter the car or lower down to get out of the car. The ease of getting inside the car is you should be just sliding in and sliding out of the car. That is the first test, the ease of getting inside the car. What is the test number 2? Test number 2 is the test of power and torque of the engine. How do we test this? The test is that you need to overtake a vehicle at highest gear, which means in case it is a 5-gear transmission, you should be attempting to overtake a vehicle in the 5th gear. There should be ease in overtaking a vehicle. You should not feel that there is loss of power when you are trying to overtake a vehicle, because this overtaking of vehicles is of extreme importance on highway driving, especially when it is a single lane state highway. Because in case you are overtaking and there is a vehicle which is coming from the other side and you are not able to timely overtake, you can meet a very fatal accident. So in this test of power and torque, you should have a feeling that the car has enough thrust and surge of power to overtake a vehicle in minimum possible time. Any car or vehicle which struggles to overtake on high speeds needs reconsideration. So that is test of power and torque of the engine. The third test is the test of transmission and gear ratios. For best driving comfort, drivability, driving dynamics, you can use any kind of words. Perfect matching of the gearbox, transmission and the engine is a must. It is a simple test. At the highest gear, while you're driving at 80 kilometers per hour, the RPM should not exceed 2500. There is a reason behind. First reason is the engine will be least strained at lower RPMs. The second reason is fuel efficiency. Higher the speed of the crank, more suction cycles are there, which means more fuel is being burnt. If your RPM is low and you are producing high torque and you have higher power, because torque and power are related by an equation, higher the torque, higher the power, you will be more fuel efficient. So this is the test of transmission and gear ratios. The fourth test is test of suspension. Suspension in a car contributes to the passenger comfort. Better the suspension, better is the ride quality and comfort. How do we test suspension of a car? The water bottle and the tumbler which you are carrying, please fill the tumbler half water and place it on the cup holder. Most of the cars these days have cup holders. You can place the tumbler with half filled water in that cup holder. Now drive the vehicle over speed breakers, over rough roads, and see whether the spill of water is minimum or it is not spilling at all. The better the suspension, less would be the spill of water. Any vehicle which has got good suspension should be comfortable and accepted in the test drive. The fifth test is the test of braking. If you see the speedometer of modern cars, the maximum speed would be 200, 220 kilometers per hour. And most of the car enthusiasts would like to, drive the cars at high speeds. Brake becomes of great importance. Rather, test of braking is very important in deciding a car. There are two speeds at which you need to apply sudden brake. One is at high speed, which is 80 kilometers per hour, and the other is average city speed, which is 50 kilometers per hour. On application of sudden brake, the vehicle should come to a halt in couple of meters, maybe 1 or 2 meters, and it should not change its path. It should not sway. A vehicle which has bad design on application of sudden brakes would swirl to one side, or it may even turn turtle. So this test is of extreme importance. The sixth test is the test of steering wheel. This test is very important for the driver. The steering wheel should be light to use. That is the first condition. At the same time, it should give a fair feedback of the wheels to the driver. By feedback, I mean to say, if you are steering it, you get a feel that yes, the vehicle is in your control. The steering wheel should neither understeer nor oversteer on turnings. This can be very well checked while checking the turning radius of the vehicle. Typically, turning radius of a good car should be enough in taking a U-turn on a 2-lane road. Any good car you see would have a turning radius of 5.1 to 5.2 meters. It is extremely important in city driving that your turning radius is comfortable. You are able to take a U-turn without having to reverse it and then complete the U-turn, which typically happens in case of vehicles which have large turning radius. When you are taking this U-turn and you turn the steering wheel, the turn should be not very large. That means you should not be rotating the steering wheel to larger angles to achieve that kind of radius. You would have seen in vehicles you have to turn the steering wheel couple of times before it actually takes a turn. That is called understeering. At the same time, it should not so happen that by a slight movement of say about 10 degrees of the steering wheel, the vehicle takes a larger turn. That's called oversteering, which is pretty dangerous. So by all standards, the steering should be perfect for a comfortable drive. Test number 7. This is the test of field of view of the front screen and the rear screen. In front screen or the front view, the pillar A should never obstruct your view. That's the first point to be noted. The second point is that while sitting in the car, a person of average height should be able to see the bonnet and the road ahead, which is important in driving. For the rear view, the person should be able to see the rear road in totality. It should not happen that once you are seeing the rear view, you are only able to see the sky. You are not able to see the road. And that too near your rear of the vehicle. The road should be visible immediately after the rear of the vehicle. Otherwise, there is a great chance that while reversing, if there is any vehicle which is not in the field of view, you may accidentally touch it. Test number 8 is very important for the comfort of the driver as well as the passengers. This is the test of air conditioner. While testing the air conditioner, in my opinion, you should be testing it in stationary position. When the RPM of the engine is say about 1000 RPM, which most of the vehicles in India maintain. At 1000 RPM, the cooling should be enough to keep all the adult passengers, the 4 or 5 passengers in the vehicle, comfortable. Test number 9. This is the test of gear shifting. First, I will deal with the manual transmission. The shifting of the gears should be smooth and seamless. Preferably, the gears should be short throw and not long throw. The clutch should be fairly easy. You should not be applying too much of pressure so that your leg may ache because of gear shifting. That is the manual transmission. For automatic transmission, it is important to note that gear shifting should be imperceptible. You should not be able to make out that it is changing gears. That shows that the automatic transmission is fairly well matched and well programmed. The last test, which is test number 10, is the test of silence in the cabin. The cabin of the car should be fairly insulated from noise of the road, noise of the tire of the vehicle and other extraneous noises, so that passengers and driver can sit in comfort. Viewers and prospective car buyers, if you remember these parameters and these 10 tests, I'm sure you will be doing justice to the test drive and the vehicle. Please do not follow the herd. Judge the vehicle which you are going to buy by spending your sweat money yourself. Don't depend upon biased reviews all over the social media. Remain safe. Hope you enjoyed watching my video and gained something important. Thank you. Goodbye.